There's more here than you're willing to see.
It's amazing. I mean, it's still, say, I went out to Vancouver to visit the set of Altered Carbon when they were filming last year, and in some cases I was sitting in the director's chair behind the scenes, and I was watching actors deliver lines to camera that I had written down back in the 90s. So 20 years, you're seeing scenes you imagined 20 years ago being brought literally to life. I say in some cases they hadn't even changed the lines of dialogue that much.
How long have I been down?
250 years.
It's beyond a wildest dream, because I never dreamed back then. I mean, I was writing a novel and I hadn't thought about the idea it would become a movie or a TV show. I just wanted to write a novel and get it published and make some money from selling the books. But I'm very cinematically inspired. I mean, a lot of my inspiration is visual, and it comes from cinema of one type or another. So this getting onto a screen, and especially getting onto a screen at the budget that it's been given, it's just mind-blowing.
Your body is not who you are. You shed it like a snake sheds its skin. You transfer the human consciousness between bodies to live eternal life.
I knew that Norwich was a great place to grow up, because I did grow up here, and I know that I knew that the schools were good. I knew that the environment was great. So we came down to check it out, my wife and I, and it was like, yeah, absolutely, this will do. So back I've come after this enormous absence, and I'm actually living now something like about less than 10 miles from the village where I grew up. It feels a bit strange, that. Norwich is a weird place in the sense that obviously there have been a lot of changes over the last 3 decades, but at the same time there's a lot that hasn't changed at all. And I mean, there are shops in town that are exactly the same as they were when I went away. I mean, there's the granary down behind Gerald's. That's the same shop selling the same stuff that it was when I was 16, 17 years old. Head in the Clouds. I actually named the aerial brothel in Altered Carbon Head in the Clouds, and it came from that. That was the inspiration for it. Of course, Head in the Clouds is not a brothel; it's a head shop. But that again has been open since 1971. It's still here. I stepped inside it, and I had this massive sense impression that kicked me back in time to being a teenager again, because it's like, oh yeah, it smells exactly the same as it did when I used to come in here as on my lunch breaks from school. So there's this weird feeling of, on the one hand, coming and looking at something like the Forum or the Chapelfield Mall or something like that, and you're like, oh my god, everything's changed. And then you wander down the Royal Arcade and you're like, oh, nothing's changed at all. And it is a very weird, slightly schizophrenic experience to be at one and the same time in a city that has come on an amazing amount, but a city that also in many ways is exactly the way it was when I was a kid. And that's very interesting. I'm still working out what my reaction to that is.